Today, let's talk about ideas. What are they worth? My name's Jack Lugar, and this is Story Room. So this week in my class, I was talking with my students about ideas, as we have an assignment to write down 25 ideas for a short screenplay that they're going to be writing. And so the question comes up, what's an idea worth? Any thoughts? I usually ask my students to give me some feedback, and after moments of silence, I maybe pry that answer out of somebody. Somebody might say $1 million. Somebody might say $10. Somebody might say a penny. We've heard a penny for your thoughts. We've heard maybe something like an idea might be worth a dime a dozen. What are they worth? Well, the fact of the matter is, from my perspective, they're not worth anything. Zip, zero, zilch, nothing. Why is that? Well, let's look at the case of a farmer who goes to buy seed, and yes, the farmer does pay for a seed, but what is the value of that seed that the farmer has bought? The seed is ultimately worth nothing unless the farmer does something with it. If the farmer doesn't plant it in the ground, prepare the ground properly for that seed, water it, use the right soil, and then take care of it as it grows, then there's no value to that seed at all. A seed does nothing but languish and sit there. There are factors that come into play, things that a seed needs to actually grow. And an idea is like a seed. It needs other things to grow and actually become valuable. So let's think about this. I ask my students, I need ideas. And we ask about what those ideas are worth. And while the idea itself may be worth something to the student, it is not worth anything to anybody else at this point in time. Even what we might consider the greatest of ideas has no value. So my students a lot of times will say, well, I don't have any good ideas. I ask them for 25, write them down, share them with me. And they say, I have no good ideas. Do you have bad ideas, I ask? Typically I get a response of yes, a lot of bad ideas. And so I ask them to write those down, because I don't judge their ideas. My goal as a teacher is to get them to write ideas down, to take note of them, and then from there we can do something with them possibly. And sure, most of the ideas are bad, but usually what happens when students write down 25, 50, 100 bad ideas, one or two turn out to be good. And sometimes they can't see it, but somebody else can. And that process of collaboration comes in. And so we pull maybe one or two good ideas from the bad ideas that they've submitted. Now, are they valuable? No, they still don't have any value just because they've been written down. No, like the seed, they need to be cultivated. Fortunately, an idea may be valuable to the idea creator, and the benefit, of course, is that they didn't have to pay for it. It was free to them. All that they had to do was think. Take their mind somewhere beyond where they were just at. So the way to make that seed valuable, that idea, is to put the time, the energy, the effort, your own personal resources behind it. The more you do with it, the more valuable it will become, because it will no longer be just an idea, but it will become something more. It'll become a story. That's our goal, right? It'll become a script or even an oral story or a joke. Whatever that idea is, whatever you're creating in your head, you put the time, the energy, the effort into it, and you'll see it take off. So obviously what you have to do is you have to develop the idea. You have to do, here's the dirty word, or dirty words, the hard work. So I talked about habits. I talked about, as a storyteller, you need to wear different hats. And that H in hats is habits. And obviously in this process, the daily process of writing, telling stories, speaking these stories, processing them, writing things down, those things come into play and help you build that idea into something more, into something that does begin to have value. The good news is, it's just that simple. The bad news? It's not that simple. It's pretty hard. It takes hard work. It takes the time. It takes that daily habit of practice and putting the effort in. So what are your ideas worth? Well, unfortunately, they're not worth anything. But you can make them worth something. And that's what we need to do with anything we do in life. By putting the effort in, we add value. So thanks for joining me today. Again, my name is Jack Lugar. I'm Associate Professor of Cinema and Media Arts at Anderson University in Indiana. And I'm glad you joined me. Hit the like button, subscribe, share a thought, give me a comment or two. I'd love to connect with you because while I'm going to share what I know and the experiences I've gained through my time in Hollywood and writing novels and teaching screenwriting, I can always learn something new, and I'd love to learn something from you. So share that comment. Thanks for joining me today here in Story Room. I look forward to talking with you again soon.